This podcast includes explicit language and sensitive topics that some may find offensive.
All views expressed belong to the individual speaking and not a representation of any entity that we have been, am now, or will be affiliated with. It's your chance to back out now.
That being said, if not,
enjoy the show.
Previously on The Black Man Misunderstood.
Solutions, bro. That's one of them. It's overcoming survivor's guilt is overcoming thought process.
Yes.
Let's just keep it real. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You're
Yep.
used to thinking a certain way. Black man, misunderstood.
It's your boy Mike B.
In the neighborhood therapist.
Let's take a minute. Grab a mirror. Stare at it for a moment. Now ask yourself, do you like what you see? Welcome back to The Black Man Misunderstood. Here we discuss topics about the black man that others are afraid to speak on. I'm your host, Mike B, and this is episode 5 of season 4, Man in the Mirror. And joining me as always, my brother, talk to the people.
The neighborhood therapist, Justice Frank Tyson, we in here.
Yes, sir. And tonight we have a special guest with us. It's my brother in Christ. We currently go to the same church right now. I like to bring to you people. His name is Chris Cuff. What's up, Chris? Thank you for joining us.
Man, Mike, thank you so much for having me, man. This is really an awesome opportunity. I appreciate it, man.
Of course. Yeah, we appreciate you too for coming on. So let's get this thing started. Let's tell the listeners, what do you do for a living?
So what I do for a living, to kind of encompass it in one thing, is I use the gifts that God has made me to spread the gospel around the world in media. That would be through film, through podcasting, through music, through video, all kinds of different things. Basically, generally through media, through all media.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that. My brother's spreading the gospel through media, period.
Yes, sir.
Period.
Amen.
And standing on it too.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. You got to, man. You got to. You really have to, man. You really do.
Especially nowadays. I ain't even mad at you, man.
Yeah.
So Mike, let me ask you this.
All right.
Why Chris for this episode?
Chris. So I met Chris, I would say, 2 years ago now, right before you broke your ankle.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago when we were at the church. And no, me and Chris, we were just talking. And we actually connected on a couple of things you already spoke about. And he's at the point where he's actually doing what I want to do. Everything who I am, I wanted to flourish in my business or what I'm doing for work. I'm just getting started. And to actually have a brother who's actually already doing it, I can easily go to and have questions or just have a simple conversation just to see where his mind went with certain things. So that's why I'm saying Chris for this episode.
Okay. Respect. Yeah. All right. So we ready to pop this off?
Let's go.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give an example, then I'll ask the question. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So when you think of man in the mirror, a lot of the times, and I'm going to speak for myself, a lot of the times when I'm talking to clients, I ask them the question, they always go, yeah, I look at the mirror, I see what's going on, make sure my beard is good, I make sure my hair is good, I make sure I smell clean. They're talking to me about a lot of surface level things, right? And it's cool. Good. I'm glad you're taking care of yourself, brother. No problem, right? But when I'm talking about man in the mirror, I'm talking about the process of looking at the reflection directly in the eyes, looking into your own soul, peeping that thing and figuring out what's going on with you as the individual, as the man. And this is where I start to go into things like, hey, do you pray to a higher power? Because you need some type of foundation. We're going to get into that, but it goes a little deeper. So when I say process, I'm talking about not just looking at what you're seeing, the silhouette. What are you actually doing in the moment to really resonate with the image of what you're seeing in the reflection, right? So here's the question. How do you look at the man in the mirror? That's one. And then two, not the process. I mean, not what you see, but the process of it. Like, how do you actually do it? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll let Chris go
Okay.
first. You guess.
Okay. Okay. Well, I look at the man in the mirror with my eyes. That's how I do it. But looking inwardly, like with my spirit, with my soul, looking at past the surface and what's going on inside, you can see some of the stuff that's going on the inside actually on the outside of you.
Mhm.
Being a person that had difficulty with self esteem, spent a lot of time not liking what I saw in the mirror. Being a little further down the road and seasoned, as I'll say, and through therapy, really through counseling and therapy, I've learned that there's more to that. When you get that way, you kind of have to remember how God sees you. You know,
Mm.
He sees you as a precious gem. You know, the most valuable diamond in the world. So you have to remember that and keep that in mind, and just not always be negative and down on yourself. I mean, that's something I had to work through.
Respect.
No, respect that. Respect that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna piggyback on a little bit what Chris said. My process is definitely looking just at myself, and then to go into deeper spot. Like I would say initially, as an adult, I didn't always think of God first. Definitely, he was always a part of the process, but he wasn't first. It wasn't until I would say probably my mid to late 20s where I started to actually question, like, is that what God wants me to be when I'm looking at myself? Um, and then, of course, it goes down the list. It goes your parents, the people that influenced you, and then even like I think I leave myself for last because I believe at times ourselves when we look at ourselves, we can be the most critical versus how everyone else thinks, and you'll look at all your faults. And I know I do that a lot. I always look at my faults. But like I said, as I got older and piggyback on Chris, like yeah, I'm a gem. I may have fallen short in the past, but that's not what God's plan or destiny for me. So when I start to look at the man in the mirror, I'm not more so looking at what I used to be anymore. It's more so what I'm going to be and what I'm working towards. So that's
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm looking when I look at the man in the
Mm-hmm.
mirror.
That's deep, brother.
Come on, bro.
That's deep.
Been around you too long.
That's deep. I respect it.
Yes.
What about yourself, sir? Come on.
So you want me to answer the question? Okay. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like I said earlier, I'm looking into my own eyes. I don't think men do that enough. Because when I'm talking to them, they don't tell me they do it enough. They feel it's weird. And if I'm being honest, it is weird. I do take it a step further, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into my neighborhood therapist bag if I can, Mike and Chris.
Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. Bring it.
It's easy to look in that mirror, y'all. All right, fellas, I want you to do it naked. I know, I know, I know. Yeah, yeah, about ready to knock my head off for that. But hear me out, man. Hear me out. The most purest you can be, right, is a child. We can't go backwards. So the second most purest way you can be is naked. The way you came up in here. You see what I'm saying? So if
Mm-hmm.
you as a man look in that mirror naked in all of your glory or all of your flaws, right? And I'm doing air
Mm-hmm.
quotes to the listeners, right? You get to be real with yourself in that moment. There's nothing to run from. There's
It's
nothing
true.
you can sit. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing you can go, oh, actually, I look like this. No, this is how you look in real time. How do you feel
Mm-hmm.
about it? You see what I'm saying?
Yo, it's funny that you say that because I feel as though a lot of my moments now, not just in the morning, but like right when I take a shower right before I go to bed, I do that. That is
Naked?
funny. Yeah, naked, like literally right out the shower. Yeah, that's crazy.
Hmm.
It hits different. We're like
Yeah.
I feel like clothes for some reason like we can hide with that. I always think of Adam and Eve, like when they put the figs on it, it's just like now you get to hide. You get to,
Hmm.
Yeah.
so take it off. Look in that
Hmm.
mirror. You ain't
Hmm.
got no
Yeah.
problem doing it with your significant other or whoever you going to pound town with. Why
Right.
not look in the mirror?
No,
Truth.
You
that's
understand?
facts.
So
Truth.
that's my biggest thing. So I do that often.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. Sometimes I still don't like what I see, but I'm always a work in progress, man. Always a work
Oh
in
yeah.
Got
progress.
you.
And that's why I said you gotta have a foundation because if you don't have a foundation and you don't like what you see, man,
Hmm.
you talk about depression, you talk about evil, you talk about,
Mm-hmm.
that's I think that's the problem with a lot of the I'm not gonna say the generation, I'm gonna say the generations that are living today, all of
Yes.
us. It don't matter if you're a boomer or a Z. I think that is the issue. Like we don't like what we see, and we're depressed
Right.
about it. We're not doing nothing
Right.
about it because there's no foundation. There's no
Yeah.
Right.
longer a foundation to grip onto.
Right.
So chaos.
Nah,
Hmm.
I definitely get that. I definitely get that. And to that point, so we've already been saying like seeing the good versus the evil. Is it easier to see the good? But like, can you spot your flaws before they're detrimental to you? Because like, I know I said I looked at the bad, but you could just be looking at the bad and not really doing anything about it. Um, and on top of that question, after them being detrimental to you, do we even understand the effects that it has on us role or duty as men when we actually put it all together?
That second question is a loaded question, brother.
I know it is.
Mm,
Who wants to go
mm.
first?
Is it easier to see the good? That's the first question, right?
Yeah, it's easier to see the good. Yeah. But then can you spot your flaws even when it's detrimental to you?
I don't know, man. I think that's case by case. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's person by person because like I said, when I used to walk to the mirror and look in the mirror, I'd be looking for the flaws. You know,
Mm,
this is wrong. This is wrong. Look, you know, good. Look at this. Look at your shoulders. Look at your stomach. Look at this. But like I said, as I've matured, I don't look at it that way. I see the flaws, but I try to find the good. It's really on what your focus is. It's really on what your focus is. You can pick whatever you want to focus on. They're both there.
hmm
You know, so
No, I see your point where it's a case by case for each person. Easier to see the good. So the reason I asked a question like that is because it goes back to how you was describing just how your clients speak. They look at the outside good,
Mm-hmm.
meaning how their hair look, how their body looks, their beard, all that good stuff. And I feel like, in my honest opinion, I feel like all men always see the good,
mhm,
but we have a hard time on actually looking at the flaws sometimes and actually seeing how much it affects us as a person. Because like you were saying, Chris, you said you used to look at the flaws first.
right.
So I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. When you looked at the flaws, it was always, all right, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But did you look at why it was wrong or how it was affecting you outside of that?
Back then, no, but now that I've matured, yes. You know, it was just a negative disposition altogether. Like, good man. Look at you. You got, a big belly. How you gonna get rid of that? How many girls gonna like you with that big belly? And that's it. Not. But what I can't do is get. Why you have that big belly? Well, maybe you need to fix your diet. And that goes to the positive. That's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
But back then, no, I was just beat myself up. That's all I was doing.
Mm.
Mm, mm, I get that. I get that. So, no, I could definitely get that, right?
Hmm.
So now, to the part two of the question, the roles and the duties as a man. So I know, for me personally, when I look at my flaws, and sometimes my flaws are more deeper inward instead of actually outward appearance. Like
Hmm.
there was a point in time when I was like, I'm not making enough money. I'm just scraping by. I can't
Hmm.
even help my sister when I was living with my sister at the time to better our situation even more than what it is now.
Hmm.
And I feel like my effect on everyone else, it was more of a stressor for everyone else. I think I can
Hmm.
say, like, when I'm not doing my part and what
Hmm.
I believe what a man should live up to, roles or duties,
Hmm.
and that's whatever situation. I always feel like, oh, because I'm short now, my sister has to pull out extra money that she may not want to touch, but she has to.
Right. Right.
So I always now I think I always try to think of how am I affecting others versus
Mm.
how I felt with it on myself and how it
Right.
made me feel, or just going through my, oh, what was me? Oh, what was me?
Hmm.
So just
You know what's wild, Mike?
what's up?
I was the complete opposite.
Hmm.
Really?
Complete opposite. So you just now are getting to a place where it's about others, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. That's how I started out.
Hmm.
Now, now I focus on self because I have a motto that I'm big on this, man. I'm ready to stand on this with anybody that wants to smoke. You have to be selfish in order to be
Yes.
selfless.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's just one of the things. If I don't have the energy, what can I give
Hmm.
you? Now,
Right.
all day I'll give you the shirt off my back, the whole my last, you know what I
Mm-hmm,
mean? But
mm-hmm,
I'm getting to a point now where I'm in my life like, yo, if I don't hear a manifestation of what I feel is God, or
Hmm.
you know what I mean, something like that going, yo, go do this,
Right.
or my spirit don't move me to go do that, I'm not doing it.
Hmm.
Not
yeah.
going. Who all gonna
Right.
be there? You know what I mean? Classic. Who all gonna be at the barbecue? Well, I'm not going.
Right.
It's for my peace, bro. Like, so
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me, that's where that came from. But the
Hmm.
flaws, right? In the very
Right.
beginning, it was I got these flaws. I got these people depending on me in my head anyway, because I didn't know if it was true or false. But
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
got these people depending on me. If I don't do this, they're gonna be sad at this. Even to a point, Mike, back in the day, school 13 days, bro. I had $5. I'm splitting the 200, I mean the $2.50 sandwich with the
Yo.
homie because you know what I'm saying? Because
Facts.
in my
Wow.
head, I'm like, yo, I got $5. Yeah, I can get more stuff. I can get chips, 25-cent
Mm-hmm.
chips back in the day, all that stuff, CNC soda, all that unhealthy stuff, right? But my homie don't have no money. So let me
Mm.
get 250, let me get a sandwich, let him get a sandwich, and then we good.
Hmm.
But the flaw there, right? Because the listener's going, but where's the flaw in that? Well, the flaw is what I had to do to go get that $5. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Whereas
Hmm.
one of the
Hmm.
Mm.
homies, right? They had money prior to this, but they chose to blow it on something that I felt was unnecessary. That's a flaw. That's a character flaw. Because
Hmm.
if I would have just stood up for myself and been like, no, actually, you know what? I'm gonna give you 2 bags of chips. I'm gonna still get you something, but if I'm gonna give you 2 bags of chips because you know not what you're doing, bro. Like you're not doing what you need to do. But because I'm
Right.
self-conscious about being a good homie, being a good bro and stuff like that, I'm doing that. I broke out of that stuff, man. I lost a lot of people for it too, but it is
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Nope. Nope. I
For
definitely get
sure.
what you're saying.
Hmm.
It's the balance, knowing when to help and when not to help, and then focusing
mm-hmm,
on you. Gotta make sure you're good. Number one, Nuno. No, I definitely
mm-hmm.
get what you're saying, bro. Come on, I'm with you.
Right.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Okay.
So big question, right? Especially for
Okay.
you, Chris. This is
Okay.
really your question. After hearing what you're
Okay.
saying,
Hmm.
how do you forgive the man in the mirror?
It takes time, man. And like I said, I needed counseling to learn how to do that. and that I needed to do that. When you're used to just beating up on yourself for so long, someone has to really tell you to stop, and then tell you, point out. They start off by, pointing out good things and positive things, and try to turn around your mindset, because you're your own biggest cheerleader, really. You know, you're the first ones that should be in your own corner. If you're down in your own corner, how anybody else gonna be down for
Mm-hmm.
you? If you're like, well, I can't do that. I'm no good. I can't do that. But you really, and even as a young kid, this was very important. God gave me the gift to hear music. I could play by ear on the piano. Not really good, but like I could play by ear. I hear a song and I could work out the melody on a piano, right? And at the time, I think I was a teenager. Oprah was on. She had Lionel Richie from the old group, the Commodores, on, and he said, "You know what? I found out I had this special talent. I was sitting at home and the window was open and I heard a song on the radio and I could figure out the notes on the piano and I'm watching TV. I said, hey, I can too. Oh, snap. That's something special." And that just told me I had a gift. It was like God saying, you have this gift too. And just knowing I had that gift. And then I had to learn that you can't waste these gifts. Everybody doesn't have these gifts. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's precious. It's very, very precious. So that really helped lift me and carry me through, even through some of the most difficult times. I hate these AirPods. They're like sliding out my ears constantly. I'm sorry, keep touching my ears, getting on my nerve. But every time I would get down, God would remind me, but you have these gifts, man. You got to keep going. I didn't give you these gifts for nothing. So that really helped me through. So I had some positive aspect of myself, and then looking in the mirror, and then with counseling, learning, I was really like, I don't know if I would say depressive. Maybe I was. I don't know if it's clinically or whatever. But the counselor really talked me through on how to, self-talk, self-talk in your mind to really change like I said, change my mindset as far as that. So when I look in the mirror, I really look when I do look in my own eyes in the mirror, I look at the physical, and then I really look inside, and it's like back and forth and what I'm thinking, and it's just a whole circular thing of positive. Okay, well, you got this, and you can work on that, and da 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 da. But yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Mm.
I
Respect.
appreciate that knowledge right there because
That's
Sure,
cool.
no problem, man. No problem.
I can tell you right now, I can't fully answer that question right now.
Hmm.
Um, I don't, I think I'm in the process of still forgiving myself
Hmm.
Hmm.
because because most people who look at me and see me, I'm a proud Jamaican through and through. Uh, I talk myself up here because
Hmm.
that's how I've always been.
Yes.
But it's in my quiet moments where I think to myself, and those flaws and those doubts creep up out of nowhere, and it'd be like,
Hmm.
"Can you really do this? Are you
Hmm.
really that good?"
Hmm.
And I think I'm now at the position now, especially with the church that we go to,
Hmm.
listen to our pastors and the leaders of the church, and how they preach the gospel, not just preaching it and just you know you have a way of preaching, and then you actually have a way of preaching and making it understandable for the
Yes.
congregation. That's where
Yes.
I get.
That's a
Um.
gift that Pastor Tommy has for sure. Is
Yeah.
making the gospel relatable. That's why I
Yep.
love that church. Yeah.
And I'm starting to understand that all that self doubt and everything is keeping me from doing what I'm actually needing to do. And Just, you
Mm-hmm.
can attest to this. Everyone on the podcast knows, all the listeners and everything. Yeah, I know. Just been in my butt for the last 2 seasons about getting my business kicked off, and
Mm.
it finally took me actually like flipping the switch and like actually doing what I needed to do to actually move forward, get the LLC, start promoting, website, all that good stuff. So I'm at the point where I'm forgiving the man in the mirror, but it's still a
Mm-hmm.
process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mike, I appreciate you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And with love, right? Because those are your feelings. I'm gonna tell you, I disagree with you based off of my definition. Just hear me
All
out.
right.
And I know listeners are like, how can you disagree with somebody's feeling? They tell you their truth. That is Mike's truth, and I stand with Mike on that one. But after my definition, I think Mike, you'll think differently. I think you're in that stage of you have forgiven yourself based off my definition. You ready for it?
All right. Go ahead.
When you can look in that mirror, understand your flaws, you can go back over your life as up to date and go back over your life and realize where you were wrong, realize where you were right, realize where you should have stood up, realize where you should have been quiet. Apologize to your mother from your point of view, apologize to your father from your point of view, even if you can't physically do it, mentally do it, and then live in your truth. You're doing it.
Mm.
I'm only on the outside though. As your brother, I'm telling you, I feel like you're doing it.
hey, hey. Sometimes you need to hear it from other people. Sometimes because you don't see it always.
Right.
Tell me how you feel about that definition though, both of y'all. That's to me, that's forgiveness as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, no, I think you're on to something. I think you're on to
Mm-hmm.
something because like when you're actually doing the work, you already probably forgave yourself from how you thought about it in the past, and you're actually doing the work. So I get where you're coming from with that. I definitely do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do definitely have to give you, like I said, really you have to give yourself a break and say, because we're guys, right? We're the tough men. We're supposed to push through anything. We're painless, right? We don't
Mm-hmm.
cry. We don't get upset. We don't get depressed. We put that pressure. Our pressure by being men in this society really has that expectation written above us,
Yeah.
but it's not always true. And as guys, we feel that the other side of things is that we have to hide it. Even though we're hurting, we have to hide it. But because we have that pressure, we put ourselves through so much extra stress, extra internal drama,
Mm-hmm.
and you really, if anyone takes any point from this podcast, that you have to really forgive yourself for being so hard on yourself. You know, that's a stereotype of men, but you do have to realize it's okay to hurt, it's okay to cry, it's okay to struggle and feel down, and it's okay. Really, you have to learn to tell each other it's okay, and we don't do that because we always want to front. We're constantly front. As soon as you step out the bathroom in the morning, your wife is there. Boom, mask is on. Knock my glasses off. Good job. Mask is on, mask for the wife is on, and then the kids are out there, boom, mask for the kids are on. And then you walk out the house and go to work. So mask for covering me and my home life is on. And we're just constantly wearing all these masks. Get around your brothers, boom. Tough guy, yeah, come on, let's vibe and all of that. And in the meantime, behind all that mask, you're hurting and you're
Hmm.
struggling.
Ooh.
And you really got to forgive yourself for all those masks and just deal with what's really going on with you. Take some time to yourself, even if it's meditating, standing in the mirror, looking at yourself. We really got to give ourselves a break, man. We really got to give ourselves a break.
You hit that on the head.
Thank you, man.
Mask off.
Thank you.
Mask offs.
Appreciate it.
Can I get into some nasty work as I call it? Can I
Let's go.
start digging? Let me dig a little deeper.
Go ahead,
Let's
bro.
go.
Come on. Get in
All
your
right, hear
bag.
me out. Hear me out.
Yeah.
How do I know if I like what I see in the mirror? If society is telling me every 5 years, this is an opinion, every 5 years, this is what a man is supposed to be. This is what a man is supposed to do. In my opinion, it changes every 5 years. Okay. Who's right? Who's wrong? And this is just me a sidebar. It seems like as men, even though we're supposed to be the leaders, we're destined to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little I'm taking that from a little biblical scripture, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
as a man, it seems like we're destined to follow regardless.
Right.
You're either gonna
Right.
follow God, you're either gonna follow society, you're gonna follow your culture, you're gonna follow your race. So the real question is, how do I know if I like what I see in the mirror? Like, where's that coming from?
Mm. So where's
Whew.
that coming from? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
deep. You're right.
Yeah.
Um, I was thinking about this today. I was driving, and I'm in my 50s, right? And really been out of shape. I was like, yeah, I need to go to the gym, right? But then I was picturing, what do I want, like, my physique to be? Because 20, 30 years ago, I wanted a six pack. You know what I'm saying? All the big muscles and everything. I wanted that.
Mhm.
Yo, you're 57, bro. You're not 30 anymore. And it just dawned on me like today. Self expectations. So that's part of what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Just being real. I guess you got to learn to be real with yourself. And it's there's so much hype out there. Being a member of the media, it's tough because there's a lot of bad stuff going out there to make money, to sell, to get you to watch things, to get your eyeballs. I realized, like, I work from home, right? And I don't get to see a lot of people until, my wife comes home and stuff. But I don't get to see a lot of people, like, until I go to church sometimes. That's why I'm like, hey, what's up, everybody? So if I have the TV on and I'm scrolling on the internet, TikTok or whatever, what am I seeing? Like, everything on the TV is fake. Everything on TikTok, a lot of that stuff is fake.
Right.
Instagram, it's all fake. It's the best images that those people put out. It's not real. And that's what I'm blasted with all day. And you got to realize that stuff is not real. So I have, like you said, just all those expectations shown to you. You're supposed to look like this. You're supposed to look like that. You're supposed to have this car. Go buy your Tesla. Da 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 da. And that's just, it's sales pitches all day, constantly, everywhere you look.
Mhm.
So I totally get what you're saying. How do you know what you're looking at is good? You have to learn that. I think that takes time and maturity to really, because man, there's such a wall of just nonsense out there, constantly going, man, because it's a money machine.
Yep.
Just blasted at you, and now you carry it with you everywhere now. Before, when I was growing up, they only had a few channels on TV. Now it's with you everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on that. What do you think, Mike?
Whew. Nah, you started in a way I was thinking already, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even gonna lie to you, right? There's times when I compared myself with certain things, not everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I would go back to one of the things that just hinted at, and Chris, you've said plenty of times throughout this episode so far. And that's the foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
God, right? I believe, in my opinion, that's what's right. What you believe
Mm-hmm.
your foundation is, that's the right answer.
Yes. Yes.
Because everything else, the media, social media, seeing people, more times than not, people are going to try to show you their best, unless they don't care anymore, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
this is me, you either take it or leave it. um And yeah, no, you're right. The what expectation for men and women change every 5 years. You're right. You definitely right
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
true.
You
That's true.
definitely right about that. I don't think that's uh a false statement. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, what Chris said is true. Everything that we do see is fake because they're putting the best. They're not showing you the nitty gritty or the behind the scenes. And so when people get jealous of seeing people going on vacation all the time, and spending all this money, I don't. Right? Just you know this. I barely take vacations. My wife doesn't love me for that that part
Mm-hmm.
of things. Um,
Right.
I barely take vacations because I know I'm a workaholic.
Mm-hmm.
That too, but I'm not beat to like try to always go to all these exotic places and try to spend all this money to go all these different places. Like, yeah, I know there's ways to make it cheaper for yourself and do all that stuff, but my honest opinion, is it really worth it? Like, what do you really want to spend your time doing? Do you want to spend your time scrolling and being envious of everyone? Or do you want to spend your time always traveling and not being surrounded by people that you love? Even though sometimes you do travel with the people you love, but I'm pretty sure not everyone in your circle is traveling with you that you would want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you do what you need to do to handle your business or biz, period, and then spend that quality time with the individuals in your life and doing that whenever you want. Go on vacation here and there. Going to doing different activities here and there. Going like we went on couples date night a couple of weeks ago and we did candles.
Mm-hmm.
We had like if I would have told 13-year-old Mike, you're gonna go on a date night with a bunch of people from your church, and you and your wife are gonna have fun, enjoying yourself, making
Mm-hmm.
candles.
Right.
I know 13-year-old old Mike would have been like, "What? What you talking about? That is not what people do for fun." So
Right. That's
it's
corny.
basically
Yeah.
being who you are and going back to your foundation. So when you do grow up, when you do mature, all those things don't really bother you, and
Right.
that's who's right, in my opinion.
Right.
Going back to your foundation.
Respect.
I don't know what kind of vacations your wife wants to take, but you got no excuse. You live in Florida. You can drive 4 hours and have a wonderful weekend at a tropical place, and then be back in time for work, man. Just be there Sunday. Be there Sunday.
You got a point.
Yeah, no, that's factual. No, that's factual. And you know what? And you know what, Chris? That's probably another reason
Yeah.
why we moved down here too. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it for sure. I love it.
yep. Just Brody, anything to add on that?
Nah, I just think every 5 years they're
Yeah.
mass producing an agenda and they're
Hmm.
pushing their agenda. I can get on my soapbox. I'm not gonna do it. That's not that episode.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you.
Cool.
So, all right, Chris, this is for you.
Yes,
So,
sir.
definitely at this point, so we believe you had more conversations with which the man in the mirror yourself more times than not at this point.
Hmm.
Do you have any advice for us as we grow as men?
My biggest advice is to don't be too hard on yourself. Realize what you've gone through to get to where you are. We tend to forget. We tend to conquer a struggle and then move on to the next struggle because it's right there. Give yourself a break, man. Just give yourself a break. You know, you don't have to be perfect. You really don't. God is God is forgiving. You need to forgive yourself. A lot of things, and I've been told that is forgive yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself. Realize that you have values and you have good attributes, even if you don't have big muscles or not, a movie star handsome or anything. There's good stuff in there. God put good stuff in everybody, and just biggest thing is just give yourself a break, man. Stop being so hard on yourself.
You know what? That's one. That's one thing I've learned or heard
Hmm.
over the last 2 years being in Tampa. That you
Hmm.
giving yourself a break. Pastor
Yeah.
Christopher like to say, take your rest.
Yeah, yeah,
Take your
yeah.
rest. And
Take your rest for sure.
I don't think people understand how big that
No,
is sometimes.
right.
Yeah. Nah, I
Yeah,
definitely appreciate that. Definitely
right.
appreciate that.
For sure.
I mean that really answered the question that I had, which is, what can men do if they don't like what they see? And it
Hmm.
sounds like give yourself a break.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Stop
that
being
can
so
be,
hard on yourself.
and you can take
Yeah,
that two ways. You can actually
yeah,
take a break, and then
yeah.
actually be
That
like,
too.
you're doing better than what you think. So
Yeah.
it's
Take a break and maybe take a vacation.
yep,
Hello,
yep.
hello, somebody.
I want to add this last part, and then I'm gonna shut up for the night. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I don't want to offend anybody when I say this, but this is my truth, and this is something that I do, and I pray that it helps someone.
Hmm.
Growing up, I've seen a lot. I've been around a lot. To get to this age in my life is a blessing, right? So what I like to do is, instead of comparing myself to other people, I just remember my definition of worse. It could always be that. So when I wake up in the
Mm.
morning, I've been around people who have COVID. I've had respiratory infections. I remember how hard it is to breathe and things like that. When I wake up in the morning, something as simple as being able to, I just give thanks.
Hmm.
Whew, that right there.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's the simple things,
Amen.
bro. Like I've broken my
Absolutely.
finger before, the pinky finger. Like I never
Hmm.
understood the value of the pinky finger until I broke it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like
for sure.
it's the small things like that to me, bro. And something
Hmm.
I do that, consider where we come from is considered very soft. Is what I do is, man,
Hmm.
like I will literally go in my backyard, feet on grass, bro, and just take in the sights, take in the sun, take in the air, and breathe.
Right,
Yes, there's chemicals in the air. We
right.
are living in America, but
Hmm.
take it how you get it. And
Right.
Mike, and this is me kind of taking a jab at you. I'm with Chris on this one. We're gonna jump you on this one.
Yes.
You gotta go take a break, bro. You gotta go take a vacation because the air in America is polluted. You go at least go to Jamrock, at least go to, Venezuela. Go somewhere where the air ain't polluted, bro. So your lungs
Yeah, man.
are recharged, man, and you get reinvigorated. No knock on America. America's cool and all, but like
Hmm.
go take that break, bro.
Nah. I've been thinking about something. So yeah, no, it's in the works. Don't worry, it's in the works. But as we wrap up, before we go, Chris, is there anything you would like the listeners know that you're working on this year? And then
Yes.
also tell them your socials and your contact information. And I'll
Okay.
tag that and tag everything in a video also for you.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Yeah, we're working on a lot of stuff. Our main site is 24flix.com. That's Flix. That's our news page where we cover the Orlando Magic, Tampa Bay Bucks. We're covering the Arnold Palmer tournament. We also cover Orlando City soccer, U.S. men's and women's soccer, and international soccer. We also have films and TV, family friendly films and TV. I think we have over 4,000 titles in there.
Mm,
It's everything that's safe for the family. In May, we have the International Christian Film and Music Festival. That's at internationalcff.com. It's the largest faith based film festival in the world. It started by two black men up here in Orlando. It's in Orlando, Florida, May 1st. We'll probably show about 150 to 200 films, a red carpet, an award show, Oscar style award show, because God deserves the excellence.
mm,
Mm.
We recently started a streaming radio platform. It's called this app is the online radio channel, and our station is Bog Radio, BOG, because of God Radio. It's
mm,
Christian and gospel, and Fridays and Saturdays we have Christian hip hop, progressive gospel. It's bogradio.fm or online radio channel. It's in the App Store and it's in Google Play. It's a lot of things going on. We have a film that we're screening this weekend called Face the Beat that we finished in June. We just came back from Atlanta screening that. It went very well. So that's a film that we're trying to get off. But yeah, we got lots going on, man. We just keep it rolling, man. we stay faithful to God, and like I said, try to keep everything in excellence and honor Him and follow His will. And He's got us doing all of these things.
Amen to that. Amen to
Yeah,
that, people. Where can they find you on social media?
I'm Chris Cuff pretty much anywhere. Also, 24 Flicks News. That's me on, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. So yeah, I'm out there.
Cool, cool, cool,
Hmm.
cool, cool, cool. Definitely gonna blast that to the listeners
Thank you, man.
when this is all out. But first off, we want to thank you for coming on. We
Absolutely.
appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, man.
All
Appreciate
the
the opportunity.
all the gems that you dropped. Appreciate it. We're gonna take it and run with them.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
Definitely
There you go.
appreciate
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
man. And this, of course, we always say it's not the last time. You don't know
Yes,
when
sir.
next, but of course,
Mhm.
we're glad to have you back on. Anything else, my brother?
you. No,
Absolutely.
that's
No, I'm
everything.
good, man.
Phenomenal.
I'm
Phenomenal.
good.
You good? All right, folks. You already know how we go. We hope y'all enjoy, and we see y'all next week.
Don't forget to look at that man in the mirror naked, though.
What up, listeners? Mike B here. Hope you enjoyed the episode. You can find us on IG at BMM_podcast. On TikTok at BMM Podcast. Facebook, just type in the Batman Misunderstood Podcast. And then you can find the Neighborhood Therapist at the Neighborhood Therapist on IG. And you can find myself at MikeB_BMM on IG. And if you want to connect with our producer, the DJ himself, Mr. DJ Daxter, check him out at DJ Daxter on IG. Alright, folks. See y'all next week.